the the way it's funny, it's not the it's a scenario that comes up often, but in many different ways. And so it never fails to surprise me, even though, it didn't just happen once.
Yeah.
There is this dynamic of when change, and when I speak about change in this context, I'm typically talking about the kinds of changes that we didn't want to have happen,
Mm.
the things that surprise us or blindside us. I always joke, like, the change we want to have happen, that's upside. That's easy. I don't think we
Mm.
really need to talk about that so much. Like, that's the fun stuff. But, change we opt into, that's easy. Of
Yeah.
course, humans love that kind of change. That's growth and evolution. I'm talking about the kind of change where you're like, oh man, that just blew up my plan.
Mm.
Oh man, like that's unfair. And you've got anger or resentment or anxiety or fear, any one of a range of negative or challenging emotions attached to it. But one of the most helpful, and again, it's always surprising, but there is this idea of when change like that happens, typically our brains default into we feel fear and anxiety because we default into what's the worst that could possibly happen.
Mm.
Oh no, like this change happened, it's doomsday. Oh no, everything's gone to pot. Oh no, right? I mean, we go into this negative spiral of all the bad things could happen because of this one
Mm.
change. And if you can actually catch yourself in that moment and pause and say, hold on, given that I have no idea how this is actually going to go, why don't I take a nanosecond and entertain what is the best thing that could possibly happen from this change? And that never ceases to surprise me or others, what I find. And where I get it surprised is when people come back to me with like, guess what I came up with for the best possible thing that could happen. And it was funny because it was even things, it'll show up often where like parents, something frustrating or challenging will happen to one of their kids. And oh, it didn't work out that way. And by the end of this exercise, they've like mapped out this whole new destiny for their kid that's like amazing and beyond their wildest dreams, and their kids get excited. And no one knows if that's actually going to come to pass.
Mm.
But it's this moment of surprise that can also turn into delight and joy and, not surprisingly, hope.